All of you read my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. I'm audible, guys. Please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible? Happy New Year to all. Thank you, and same to you guys. Right, sir. And check it what we completed in the last session. What topic we understood there. So I think so we are discussing about the random access file. Random access file topic we are understanding. There we had some power failure in the last class. Okay, no problem. It will be completed. After completion of this, then immediately we will start some other new topic today. Right. So random access a file. The topic, what is the meaning of it? It allows us to read data. It allows us to read data from random positions. Alright, to represent random access file, Java has provided a predefined class in the form of java.io.random access file. How we are going to create this random access file? To create random access file, we have to use the following constructor. To create random access file object, random access file class object, we have to use the following constructor. What should be the constructor here? Understand it clearly. Public random access a file, string of file name and location, of course. Then after that, next one is string. Then what we have to provide there? Then after this string, modes are available. Then access privileges are available. Instead of saying that access modes, no, then access privileges. Access privileges. What is the meaning of this access privileges here? It should be like what there read, write, read, write. Understand my point now? That means allows to read data. That's it. Not to perform modifications. Or maybe both read and write. Only two types of access privileges. One is read. Next one is what the read, write. There is no specifically write. If it is write, automatically we can read it. Understand my point? So the point is what? Where the access privileges may be, where the access privileges may be R stands for what there? Read, RW. What is it? RW actually? Read, write. Read and write. Right, sir. For example, if you provide the access privileges is read, but if you're trying to write the data, there we are able to get an exception. IO exception where the description should be access denied. Access denied kind of exception we are able to get. It's okay, leave it. That I'm able to show clearly. Next one is what? Public random access file, files string of file name, comma string access privileges. Where the access privileges may be R read or RW read and write here. Okay, fine. We are able to create an object, no need to worry for it. Then after that, to write data in the random access file, we have to use the following methods. What method here we have to use there? Public void write xxx of xxx value, where xxx may be byte comma, short comma, int comma, and so on, UTF. Then where we are getting like what their string. Public void write xxx of xxx value, where xxx may be byte comma, short comma, int, and so on, UTF. UTF in the sense, you know already that a string type data. Right, sir. Then after this, after completion of this is writing data. Observe carefully. This is like what they're writing data. After understanding this, I want to read data from the random access file. To read data from the random access file, we have to use the following methods. What method here we have to use there? Public xxx read xxx method, where xxx may be byte comma, short comma, int, and so on. Again here UTF. Inside this UTF in the sense what the string type. Next one is, if you want to move, see, remember this point clearly. When we create a file, maybe it may be normal file or maybe random access file, whatever it may be. When we create a file, automatically a pointer will be created. Called file pointer. By moving file pointer only, we are able to perform read and write operations, reading data and writing data. Then both we are going to do by moving that file pointer, but it is going to be happen internally. We are not going to do anything in general, but explicitly we are able to have access for this particular file pointer. What is that accessibility? We can move that file pointer to a particular location. Actually, this is a random access file. From different positions, I can read the data. But from which position you want to read the data, we can move that file pointer. From which position you want to read the data, that we can check by moving what their file pointer. So we can move that file pointer explicitly. To move file pointer explicitly, there we have to use a separate method. That method is what their seek method. There we are able to move file pointer explicitly. For that we are going to use a separate method. That separate method is what their seek method. Understand it clearly now? All right, sir. To move file pointer to a particular position, we have to use the following method. What method here we are going to use there? Public void seek of int position. Public void seek of int position. Okay, random access file dot max. We are going to use what there? At which situations we are going to use that what there? Whenever we are reading the data, whenever we are writing the data, file pointer is coming to the end. Again, if we want to read the data in the same order, we have to move that file pointer to the starting point of the location. To move that file pointer to the starting point of the file, we are going to use seek of 0. 0 is representing what there? Starting point of the file. Got it or not? But if you know clearly the locations in our file, then we can move the file pointer to a particular location. But it is somewhat difficult to find the locations inside the file here. That's why maximum cases we are going to use that seek method to move that file pointer to the starting point of the file. Why? Because starting point of the file is what the 0. That is easily we can identify this. That's why we are going to use the seek method to move file pointer to starting point of the file here. Anyway, the point is what the seek method is provided here. Due to the availability of the seek method, we can understand it that file is what their random access file. Due to the availability of the seek method only, we can conclude that that file is what there random access file. Why? Because the seek method purpose is what there. We can move that file pointer from one location to another location. It means that it's a part of the random access. Moving that file pointer to one location, another location, in a sense, it's a part of what there random access file. Can understand it clearly? Right, sir. That's okay, fine. Now we are going to see a simple example on the basis of this random access file. Try to understand it now. All right, sir. Now here, just I want to open the project. Already we created that project previously. Okay, directory we created in the last session. Random access file. Random access file is equal to new random access file. There, // abc slash xyz slash. I think then what file is available here? Any file is existed here? No. abc xyz. Yes, welcome dot txt file is available. Welcome to Durgasoft. The data is exist already. Now let me use like what there. Welcome dot txt. So this will be right. Yeah, this is, but still we are getting an exception. Why, sir? Yeah, okay, fine. Another parameter here we have to pass. What is that another parameter actually? Access privileges. Say for example, I want to take only R. R in the sense like what there? What is the meaning of this R here? No, read mode. Only read access privileges here we are providing. Okay, right, sir. Now the next one is what there. Then after this, access privileges is read, but I'm trying to write the data. So random access file dot write int of 111, for example. If I run this program, there we are able to get some exception. Try to recognize this exception. See this exception here, no? Java.io exception, access is denied. Why, sir? Why we are getting access is denied? Why we are getting this IO exception? No. Yeah, the point is what we specified that mode is what there read mode, but we are writing the data. It's against to the access privileges. That's why here we are going to get what there error here. No? But I want to provide what there read write. If it is read write, no, then easily we can read the data. Easily we can write the data. Right. So now next one is what there random access file dot write. Then here we need to provide like what there UTF. There we have to provide what data, Durga. For example, random access file dot write float, something else like what there, some 5000 data here we provide it. Random access file dot write UTF again here. Now say I want to provide some data. Okay, now tell me, after writing 4 data, where is the what is the position of this file pointer here? File pointer is available at the end of the file or not? At the end of the file, the file pointer is available. But my requirement is what? I want to read the data from starting point. No? I want to display the employee details right from starting point. So what I have to do there? Simply I have to move the cursor to, that means file pointer to what there? Starting point of the file. To move that file pointer to the starting point of the file, what we have to do there? Random access file dot, what we have to do there? Seek off, then what we have to provide 0. It will come to what the starting point here. From this point, I want to access the data. Sysnot outer println of, say for example, employee details here I want to provide. Sysnot outer println of line space here we are able to provide. Then after that, sysnot outer println of employee number, then plus, then what we have to do there? Random access file dot what we have to provide there? Now we need to provide read. First one is what there? Read int method. Directly here we have to use it. Sysnot outer println of employee name plus now here what we have to provide there, random access file dot read, then what we have to provide there, UTF. Then sys not outed println of employee salary. Now here what we are able to provide there, plus random access file dot read float. Direct method here we are able to provide, but sys not outed println of employee address plus then what we have to provide there, random access file dot read UTF. Again here we are able to use these methods. Right, sir? Now here we provided the seek method. For example, if I comment this one, if I'm not moving the file pointer to the respective location, no data we are able to get here. Right? End of file, reach end of file kind of exception here we are able to get. End of file exception we are able to get. First of all, let us check this. Then after that I will go for it. Now here what we are getting there now, end of file exception here we are getting there. So what we have to do there, I need to take this particular one here. If I take this particular one, now try to understand it clearly. Now the data here we are getting the data will be written, the same data here we have taken from the respective file here. That's it. Now this is exactly the meaning of like what there, random access file, and it's a simple example. Almost all outdated topic, no need to think too much about it. Just one time practice and just leave it. That's it. Why? Because we are not going to use this concept in our application development. Max, if in any requirement to use this file system in our Java applications, no, max level we are going to use file class only. File class object only we are going to use if you want to use file system in our Java applications. Otherwise, we are not at all utilizing like what there, random access file in our applications. But concept wise, at least that minimal information I have given, what we required minimum concept that up to that I have given that. But more than this is a time based process, not at all required in our content here. Right, sir? Leave this total part here. Finally, we completed totally IO streams. Total concept of like what there, IO streams. Here we understood. Leave this part here. Once you understood these IO streams, the topic there, after completion of this, now we are going to understand another new topic. The continuation of these IO streams, we are going to understand two topics there. What are the two topics now? The networking and the next one is RMI. These two topics we have to understand. After that only we are going to start collection framework. After completion of this only we have to understand what their collection framework. Right, sir? Now first of all here we have to understand the topic is what their networking. Okay, right, sir. Now networking. Now directly I'm asking this question to you. Now try to answer for it. All of you observe carefully. By using Java, we are able to prepare the following two types of applications. By using Java, we are able to prepare the following two types of applications. What are the two types of applications here we are able to create? One is standalone applications, and the second one is distributed or maybe enterprise applications. All right, sir. Now I require the terminology distributed application now. All right. Then already you are aware about the standalone applications. Simple definitions already I have given that. What is the meaning of standalone application there? If we design and execute any application without using client server architecture or without distributing application logic over the multiple machines, then that application is called is called a standalone application. Just simple definition, it is sufficient here. To prepare this standalone application, the total J2SE is sufficient. J2SE is sufficient to prepare standalone applications. Next one, after that, distributed applications. Distributed applications. If we design and execute any application on the basis of the client server architecture and by distributing application logic over the multiple machines, then that application is called a distributed application. If we design and execute any application on the basis of the client server architecture and by distributing application logic over multiple machines, then that application is called a distributed application. All right, sir. Both standalone application and distributed applications here we understood. Now here, one more point I am telling to you. There are two types of distributed applications again. Observe carefully. There are two types of distributed applications. What are the two types of distributed applications? First one is web-based distributed applications and remote-based distributed applications. Remote-based distributed applications. What is this web-based distributed application actually? Web-based distributed application is what? Everybody understand it, no? It is a client-server application where client is fixed, that is browser. Where client is fixed, that is what their browser. That is browser. Okay. Client-server application where client is fixed, that is browser. Here, the complete application logic is distributed at a server machine only. At server machine only. It is not available to multiple machines. At server machine, the complete application logic is distributed. But where client is what there? Client is a browser. Right, sir. Now the point is what inside this? In this case, now observe carefully. Examples here I am telling here. All websites are web-based distributed applications. All websites. Take any website. Say for example, I want to open durgasoft.com. What I have to do? First of all, I have to open browser or not? In the browser, just we have to type www.durgasoft.com or not. That means browser we have used here. From this browser, we are sending request to the Durgasoft server. The Durgasoft server will identify the request, will find the home page. That home page will be given back to the respective client. Now here the communication between browser and the server. Browser and server side program. So this application is exactly called as what their web application, web-based distributed application. Right or not? Next one. To prepare web-based distributed applications, we will use the technologies like servlets. In advanced Java, after the JDBC, we are going to cover the servlets, JSPs. Along with the servlets, we are going to understand what they are, JSPs. After the JSPs, we need to understand JSTL, expression language, and so on, some other technologies. This is a story about like what they are, web-based distributed application, web-based distributed applications. Similarly, what next one here we are getting there? Remote based distributed applications. All right, remote based distributed applications. Now today we required only this part here, not web based. Now we require remote based. Now understand it clearly. The same point here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. It is a client server application, sure, on the basis of client server, where the client is not fixed. Where the client is not fixed. Okay. Now here I'm giving some examples here. What happens, sir? Oh, what's it? It may be a Java program. It may be a Java program with main method. It may be a Java program with main method. Understand it clear. It may be a Java program with main method or a servlet or a JSP page or a JSP page or a struts application or a Spring application or a JSF application, and so on and so on and so on, where the complete application logic is distributed at both local machine and remote machine. Distributed application will be distributed at application logic is distributed at multiple machines. Here the multiple machines are what there? Client machine and server machine. Client is the terminology I need to change. That is what there? Local machine and a remote machine. Understand it now? Then I will take one very good example so that we can understand it clearly. What exactly the meaning of this distributed application? Easily we can understand it. If I take any example here, I want to take one standard example so that we can identify this clearly. All right, this is a remote based distributed application. Don't worry, I will explain that. Next one is to prepare a remote based distributed applications. To prepare remote based distributed applications, we will use the technologies. We will use the technologies like, first one we can understand it, no? Socket programming, socket programming, RMI, remote method invocation, CORBA, EJBs, and the most important, the next one is what there? Web services. Web services, the name contains web, so misunderstand it. Don't misunderstand this. It should be like what there? Web services, in the sense like what there? What I'm telling to you, it is a distributed technology. It is not a web technology. Even though it contains the word web, don't misunderstand it. It is not web technology. It is a distributed technology. Clear to all of you? All right. Socket programming, RMI, CORBA. All right. I want to give some abbreviations to you. Now try to understand it. What is this RMI actually? Remote method invocation. I think some of you might be aware about it. RPC in a distributed environment. RPC, remote procedure calls. Remote procedure calls. But in the case of Java, the same remote procedure call topic is available in the form of what there? Remote method invocation. CORBA. What is this CORBA actually? Common object request broker architecture or agent. Right, sir. Common object request broker agent or common object request broker architecture, both are same. There's a simple definition for what there? CORBA. Next one is what? After this, EJBs. What is that EJBs actually? Enterprise Java Beans. Web services, no separate abbreviation for it that we can identify. These are all like what they're the distributed technologies what we are having to prepare a remote based distributed applications. Clear to all of you? All right, sir. This is okay, fine. This is what we are getting clearly. Right. Now, anyway, then this is extra content what I am going to discuss now. One example to differentiate what exactly the meaning of web and what is the meaning of remote based. In a single example, I want to show, but this is actually an introduction for web services. But for your understanding purpose, here itself, I want to discuss that content. Try to put more concentration. Even in the future, if you are getting any question, what is the purpose of the web services topic? If you are getting this question, we can use the same concept what I am going to discuss with you. The next 5 to 10 minutes of time, you have to put your complete concentration on this particular topic only. Right, sir. Now let's move on to the point here. Right. Anyway, the idea of this particular example is what? Durgasoft only, not any other one. Durgasoft, where courses are going on, already. Do you think about it? Durgasoft is providing all courses with free of cost. Do you think about Durgasoft is a charitable trust? No? Yes, sir. Definitely. I'm confirming that Durgasoft is a purely a business organization. No second thought of it. But genuine business. Definitely business is going on here. See, it's an organization, sir. You have to maintain multiple faculty members. You have to maintain some premises there. So definitely costful. Here also be courses are going on with the cost only. Okay, fine. But how students can pay the payments now? What Durgasoft is following, just keep aside. Understand my example. Durgasoft is allowing online registrations for the courses, for example. Durgasoft is allowing what? Online courses registration. What is the meaning of it? No, you are staying at your home. You inquired for the course at Durgasoft. Yes, you like that course and its content and everything. Comfortable timings. So you want to join with that course. Then to join with that course, what we are going to get there? Open the Durgasoft website. Then there are some links are available where one of the link is what there? Register for the course link is available. Course registration link is available. If we click on it, then immediately course registration form is available. Yes, got or not? Course registration form. In that course registration form, what we are going to have the content here. Understand it clearly. This is like what I'm telling you, course registration form, for example. In this course registration form, what we have the details actually name, then after this qualification, after this qualification branch. Okay, even branch is also not required. Email ID. The next one is what there? Mobile number. All right, sir. Now even this qualification is also not required. Who will take care about? Who will care about your qualification in the institutes now? Nobody will think about your qualification. Am I right? Already you're qualified. That's why you are coming here. Next one is after this. Course. Which course you want to take? All right. Then after this, course fee. All right. So then after this, maybe you can identify this what their credit card number, or maybe debit card number, or maybe UPI payments, or whatever it may be. Some field here we are able to have for the sake of it. For example, credit card payment, card payment, maybe credit card or debit card, that doesn't matter, right? Next one is what there? Submit button is existed. Put more concentration, all of you know. In general, in web services introduction part, I am going to take this example. But this is the right time to discuss about this content as per our view. Just try to understand it. Now tell me, this is like what I'm telling to you, registration form, course registration form dot HTML or JSP or whatever it may be. Something else here we have taken. Now this is like what I'm telling to you. Website. This is Durgasoft website. This is what I'm telling to you, Durgasoft website. This is like what there www.durgasoft.com. For example, I want to provide data. What data here I want to provide there? Name, AAA, for example. Email ID, aaa@gmail.com. Mobile number, some mobile number here we can provide this. Course, say for example, Java. Course fee, 50,000 for example. Credit card number, ABC123. All details here we provided. Then after that, just we click on submit button. Now, when we click on the submit button, request will come to www.durgasoft.com or not? Come on, guys. Request will come to what there? Website. Inside this website, there is a separate component. Assume it, some server side component is available. It will take that request. If it is a regular server side programming, then we can understand it. This is what there is servlet. Okay. In durgasoft.com, what it is having there? It has its own database actually. It has its own database. It has its own database. Then first of all, whatever the data that student has been submitted here, the data will be provided to this particular database. As per the requirement, it will retrieve the data from where? From this particular database to the respective servlet. Server side component. It is available. Right or not? Now observe carefully, all of you know. What actually student is expecting and durgasoft.com is expecting, no? Whatever the details that student has been submitted, the durgasoft.com has to take the data. Definitely it has to store the details into the database table. It's okay. But it has to give some response or not? What type of response it has to provide there? Yes, your course registration is successful. Our team will follow for the sake of the further details when the batches are going to be started, on which date the demo class is going to be happen. That one acknowledgement we are going to submit it to the respective user. Okay, then directly we can understand it. That response we are able to get from the respective server side component. That response is like what there? Course registration successful. Success. Course registration successful. Like this here we are able to have some message. This is exactly the meaning of like what the response here what we are getting. Okay, but understand it clearly. Along with that course registration successful, transaction must be performed through this credit card number or not? You understand it now? Transaction must be performed or not? Nice. Definitely here we are able to get what there? Transaction. Transaction must be performed. Clear. But how the transactions has to be performed by Durgasoft? No? How it is possible? Do you think about it? Durgasoft is having any particular bank? Is it maintaining its own banking services? No, Durgasoft doesn't have any banking services in its own. Durgasoft is not a bank operator. Durgasoft is like what they're a training institute. It doesn't have any banking sector in its own way. Okay, if it is not having banking implementation in its own way, but it must be depending on some other bank or not. If it is not having its own bank, definitely it must be depending on what there, some other bank or not. All right, what exactly the banking services that Durgasoft is going to use there? Observe carefully. Durgasoft is going to use the banking services from, for example, ICICI Bank. Durgasoft is using the banking services from which bank? You know, ICICI Bank. Now we can understand it. This is like what there www.icicibank.com website, for example, I'm telling to you, or else maybe icicici.com, whatever it may be. Okay. Now coming to the point. So when request is coming from student to the durgasoft.com, where server side component is available. Now immediately this server side component must take the credit card number and fee, course fee details. Then immediately it will submit the details to what? It will submit the details to the ICICI Bank. Then here what ICICI Bank is able to do, it is having its own server side component, and it is also maintaining its own database. It's also maintaining its own database. Why? Because what details no, is also maintaining its own database. Okay, this ICICI Bank must perform the transactions. After performing the transactions, the required data will be stored into the database table. Inside the database, the required details will be saved. After saving the required details into the ICICI Bank database, after performing the transaction, results will be given back to the same server side component. Now the server side component must give some response back to what there durgasoft.com. Got it or not? Nice, very good. But one more point here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. ICICI Bank is performing transaction on the basis of the credit card number or not? So ICICI Bank must require credit card services or not? ICICI Bank must require what services there? Credit card services. But ICICI is not having its own credit card service. ICICI is not having its own credit card service. ICICI is depending on some third party credit card providers. ICICI is not having its own credit card service. ICICI is depending on what there? The card services, some third party. Then what is the third party here? I'm giving information. Do you not try to understand it clearly? Now here, some third party vendor is available to provide this credit card service. No. Now that would be like what there? For example, www.mastercard.com. Mastercard, Visa card, or some different types of cards are available there, right? They are the credit card providers actually. Yeah, they're also be having what there? Their own server side components. They're also be having their own server side components. This is server side component. They're also be maintaining their own database. In their database, the details are going to be stored. The details, card details, and their respective information would be maintained inside like what their credit card providers. All right, sir. Now, first of all, from here, request will come to what there? This one from ICICI Bank to like what there? To the Mastercard. Then Mastercard will provide the, on the basis of the credit card number, it able to provide all the bank account details and everything to the respective ICICI Bank. Then immediately it able to maintain that card details and the respective content. It will interact with its own database, where already on the basis of this credit card number, the details are going to be existed. Then the details would be provided back to like what there? This bank, that means like to like what there? To the server side component. Now the server side component is able to perform the respective activity. It able to give the details and everything and bank details and everything to like what there? To the respective ICICIbank.com. Now ICICIbank.com will perform the transaction. The transaction details will be maintained inside the database. After that, the transaction status and the respective information about the accounts and everything will be given back to what there? Durgasoft.com. Durgasoft.com will store the student details and everything required information into the databases now. Then it is able to give some acknowledgement to the respective user. What is that acknowledgement here? Your course registration is successful. Then after that, the bank will send a message, separate message to the respective user. Understand it or not? So this is an example here we have to understand. Now, all of you listen carefully. Everybody put more concentration. This is browser. Yes, sir. HTML pages will be executed under what? Browser only. HTML pages must be executed under what there? Browser only. This is browser. Got it? This browser is submitting request to what application there? Durgasoft.com. So this browser and Durgasoft.com, up to these two, is a web application. If you understand, this browser in the sense client mission, client in the sense what their user. If you want to register for the course, no, your computer is what their client mission. Their browser we have opened it. This is server side program. Understand it clearly. So browser and this part, these two, www.durgasoft.com, this one, these two are acting as what there is a part of the web part, web application. Right. Now understand this point clearly. I want to say this, that Durgasoft.com was designed by using Java. Same Durgasoft, ICICI Bank.java is also maintained by using Java. And the same MasterCard application is also designed by using what their Java. For example, everywhere Java, all applications are designed on the basis of what their Java. Now this is Java application. This is also a Java application. Now the Java application is sending request to the another Java application. Another Java application is giving response to the Java application. Now this is exactly a distributed application. From Durgasoft.com, ICICIbank.com, we have some communication or not? Observe carefully. For Durgasoft.com, this registration form, that browser is acting as a client. If you think ICICI Bank and Durgasoft.com, Durgasoft.com is acting as a client, ICICI Bank is acting as what their server. If you think about it, ICICI Bank and Mastercard.com, Mastercard.com is what they're acting as server, ICICI Bank is acting as what their client. Understand my point here? But this is not like web environment. Durgasoft.com, ICICI.com, ICICIbank.com must have communication or not? Then that is exactly what their distributed application. This is Java program. This is also a Java program. Between two Java programs, we are going to put communication. This is called as what their distributed application. But in the previous case, a browser and a Java program communication is available through the network. Then it is called as what their web application. Right, a Java program to another Java program communication is available. So this is exactly the meaning of like what there. This is the meaning of like what there distributed application. Again now, ICICIbank.com, Mastercard.com, there also a communication is required. This communication is nothing but what there is a distributed application. Why? Because between two Java applications we are having communication. So this is what exactly the meaning of web application and distributed application. Got it or not? Now observe carefully. To prepare web applications, server-side program is required or not? The server-side application we are going to prepare by using servlets, or by using JSPs, or by using JSTL, or by using expression language, and so on. By using these many things here, we are going to prepare what there, all the content here. Understand it clearly. But if you want to prepare if you want to provide the communication between two Java applications, we are preparing that application on the basis of two Java applications. Now this is called as what their distributed application. To prepare distributed application, now observe carefully, it should be like what their Java. Am I right or not? This is like what their Java to Java application. If we prepare now, there we are going to use the technologies like what their Sarget programming. Next one is what their RMI. Next one is what their Corba. Next one is what their EJBs. Am I right or not? These many things here we provided if it is a case now. Okay, now I'm going to give one more part. I think you understood clearly what is web and what is distributed environment. Next one more point I want to try to understand it clearly. What is that next point here I'm telling to you? Durgasoft.com was designed by using Java, no doubt. Very clear that we are at Durgasoft. So we understood that Durgasoft.com was prepared by using Java. Leave it. But do you have any guarantee that ICICIbank.com is designed on the basis of Java? Do you have any guarantee that? They might be used their own, some different technology. So let's say, for example, ICICIbank.com was prepared by using what? Say Python. Example. Do you have any guarantee that Mastercard.com is designed on the basis of the same Java or Python? No. Maybe it was designed by using .NET. Who knows about it? Maybe they might be designed by using what their .NET. Now tell me, here the process is what? From browser data is coming to what? Java program. From Java program, the same data must be submitted to what? Python program. But remember carefully, Java representations are different. Python representations are different. How Java represented data we submitted to the Python. Understand my point here? In the case of Java, memory for the integer is 4 bytes of memory. But in the case of Python, maybe 2 bytes of memory. Maybe the conventions are different. The data representation is varied from one technology to another technology. But still we require the communication between Java application and Python or not? Leave it. Okay. Finally, we understood that communication we provided. Finally, we submitted data from Java program to Python program. Now, what Python program has to do? Python program has to send the data from Python to .NET or not? Again, there is a conflict. Python representations are different. .NET representations are different. But how can you submit that Python data to the .NET? No. How the data is going to be represented? How the communication is going to be established between these two? No. Is it possible? Exactly. In this particular situation, please remember all of you know, exactly in this particular situation, to establish the communication between two different technology applications, to establish the communication between two different technology applications, a separate technology was provided by Java or Sun Microsystems or maybe Oracle Corporation. That separate technology thing, that separate technology suite is nothing but what their web services. The separate technology thing is nothing but what their web services. If both the technologies are available in the, if both the applications are available in the same technology standard, we can use socket program, RMI, EJB, Corba, it's okay, no problem. But when the two applications are in two different technology standards, no, where to establish communication, to pass data from one application to another application, and to get results from another application to present application, then what is going to be happen here now? There we require what content here now? Web services content is required. Sir, got it or not? Hello, if you understand it or not? This is exactly the meaning of web services. But how web services is going to be happen? Just see the taste of the web services. Don't think too much about it. No, you may have a number of doubts here, but in web services we'll think about them. But here just only the point wise, concepts wise I'm talking with you. Try to understand it now. But how web services are providing communication between two applications? How it is going to be happen? Okay, right. The concept is like what there. Observe carefully. No, I want to remove this part here. Yeah. Just we can understand here, a repository is available. This is, we can call it as what there, a repository. Web services only. Already we are in web services. Assume it, we are in the middle of the web services now. Now I'm talking it is what there. Just we can call it as what there, a repository. Understand it. Right terminology here I'm trying to provide you. Some repository or maybe whatever it may be, some registry software or repository, whatever it may be. Just understand it now. What ICICI Bank will do now, if ICICI Bank, right, if you want to use ICICI Bank services, if you want to use ICICI Bank transaction services, what ICICI people will do there, ICICI people will provide, will create a service. They will keep that service inside like what there, inside this repository. They will keep that service inside what there, a repository. What service there? Transaction service with a particular URL. With a particular URL, they will keep that service in the repository. Then, whoever the client, not only Durgasoft, whoever the client, whoever the local mission, you require these ICICI services, consume these services. Whatever the service which was provided to the repo, then we can consume that service. No, understand it clearly. Now here this is like what there, create a service or publish a service. This is like what there, publish a service. When we publish a service now, automatically some consumers are available or subscribers are available. Terminology is totally different. Producer will publish a service, consumer will subscribe that service, or maybe subscriber will consume that service. Now Durgasoft.com is a subscriber. The subscriber or consumer will consume the service which was provided by publisher. Is a pure web services terminology. Publisher, subscriber. Publisher will publish a service, subscriber will consume that service. Got it or not? Now tell me, between ICICI Bank and MasterCard, who is publisher and who is subscriber now? Who's producer and who is consumer? Mastercard.com is what their publisher. ICICI Bank is what their subscriber or consumer. So they are going to produce a service and this ICICI Bank is going to consume that service. Yes, sir, got it or not? All right, one more thing. But still data must be transferred between two applications or not? Still data must be transferred between two applications or not? But how the Java data is going to be transferred to Python? How Python data is going to be transferred to .NET application? All right, here to transfer the data, from one technology to another technology related applications, we are going to use a global represented technology, a global text represented technology we are going to use. The global text represented technology is what is a XML. XML is what their global text represented data technology. XML is not related with any particular technology. XML is common for every technology. We can use XML for Java, we can use XML for Python, we can use XML for .NET, we can use XML for some other technology. For any technology, we can use what there? XML. Has sir, got it or not? We can use XML for all the types of technologies. Observe carefully. Okay, fine. XML we can use for Java. What Java program will do? Whatever the data we are getting from the student, no, the transaction related data, it will give the data in the XML document. That XML document will be transferred to what there? To the ICICI Bank. Then where Python application is available, Python application will read the data from XML document. It will represent the data in its own representation. Next one is, when Python program wants to send data to the .NET application, no, Python program will keep the data into what there again XML document. That XML document will be transferred to the .NET application over the network. The .NET application will read the data from XML document. It will represent the data in its own way. Yes, sir, got it or not? All right. If we use XML to carry the data from one technology application to another technology application, then that web services are called SOAP services. That services are called as what they're SOAP services, where the protocol is SOAP. Understand it clearly? SOAP services we are going to use. That means SOAP. In web services, two parts are available. One is the SOAP services, another one is what the RESTful services. SOAP services are using XML as a transformation from one technology application to the another technology application. But XML is a heavyweight. So much time it will take to carry the data from one technology application to the another technology application, or to exchange the data, it will take a lot of time. Some drawbacks are available. Not only this particular heavyweight, so many drawbacks are available. Then immediately people are coming to what their a lightweight solution. That lightweight solution is what their RESTful services. RESTful service is totally lightweight. In a simplified manner, the data exchange is going to be happen. But how it is able to exchange the data? Not by using any XML, just by using what their JSON format, JSON representation. JSON represent, JSON. Yes, sir, got it or not? Abbreviation is okay. All these things are not required. Just leave it here. Okay, JSON representation. JSON is a simple text format where it is going to represent the data in the global format. Then Java application will keep the data in a JSON format. The JSON document will be transferred to what their Python application. Python application will read the data from JSON and able to maintain the data in its own way. And it is sending the data to like what there to the .NET. While sending the data to the .NET, again it will use what their JSON if it is a RESTful services. RESTful services are having some n number of conventions, different conventions, but only the basic point here I'm giving there clearly. Like this, the total web services content is available. Now tell me, here our required information is what? Not like web services, not like all the concepts here. Only the point is what is the web part, what is the distributed part, that I required clearly. Here the web part is what their browser and a website. These two are nothing but what their web application. Durgasoft.com and ICICIbank.com both are treated as a single application. This is exactly what their distributed application. ICICI Bank and MasterCard application both are available. Both are treated as a single application. This is exactly called as what their distributed application. Get my point or not? So here we have to understand what is web and what is distributed. Okay, fine. Just for our clarity purpose only I given that, but my intention is not to discuss about web services and all the content here, but as per our view, just we can understand it clearly. And one more thing here I want to provide there, one simple conclusion here I want to prepare. What is the conclusion here? To prepare an enterprise application, to prepare an enterprise application, we must have both web layer and the distributed application layer. Web layer and distributed application layer. Simple, I'm telling to you, enterprise application is equal to web application plus what next one here? No, distributed application. This is a simple equation. For that equation example is this. This is an example. Now both are available or not? Both web and as well as distributed, both the environments are available or not? This is exactly the meaning of like what there enterprise application. That's okay, fine. This is like the basic introduction part for distributed applications and its related content here. Again, we will discuss the same content in the future, not immediately. Fine. Now we have to start with what there socket programming. Socket programming. Yes, sir. Why, sir? Why you are very much serious about it? No. No response. Just seriously, you are understand. I think you are listening concepts properly, right? Huh? Yes, am I right? What about our yesterday's celebrations? How much is the count? No count? What count now? Don't ask me. You know already that, right? You're doing overaction with me now by asking this question. Okay, sir. Good. I think then you are maintaining your own count there. My count is nearly 7. Oh, what is it? 7? You know already, right? Huh? My count is 7 in the sense 7 cakes we cut there, right, on that particular celebrations. 7 kids are available at my home by the time. 7 cakes we celebrated with the 7 cakes. Hmm. Of course, what you thought it is a different story. It is far away from me. Don't think about it. All right, sir. It's okay, fine. Then today just we understood the basic introduction part for distributed application and web application. But again, I'm telling there, if you remember properly this, if you have any opportunity to talk about distributed application and its environment, we can talk. We can give the same example. We can give the same example, and even this is an example for web services also. For web services introduction also, you are going to understand the same kind of content. Okay, but actual things we'll discuss there in the technology, respective technology, right? Take few minutes break and come back now, then we'll start advanced Java today, right? Thank you.